Welcome to this explainer, everyone. I'm Dr. Chem. Now, look around you right now. Imagine a cinematic journey, starting from swirling galaxies millions of light years away, soaring past burning stars, down to our oceans and mountains, and finally zooming all the way into the glass of water on your desk or the smartphone in your hand. Have you ever stopped to wonder what fundamentally connects the sheer scale and diversity of our entire physical world? Well, in today's masterclass, here's our roadmap. We're going to cover the universal question, defining mass and volume, the three common states of matter, the microscopic world, the evolution of atomic theory, and finally, the substance of the universe. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the universal question. I really want you to focus your attention on the incredible physical diversity of the objects all around us. Everything you can see, touch, hold, taste, or even smell, it all appears completely different, right? But pause for a second and think actively about this. What is the one fundamental characteristic that literally all these things share? What actually connects a glass of water, your smartphone, and the stars in the night sky? The answer is the foundational truth of chemistry. They are all made of matter. The scientific definition is beautifully simple. Matter is defined as any substance that has mass and occupies space, period. Moving right along to Section 2, defining mass and volume. So there are basically two absolute non-negotiable requirements for something to be considered matter. First up, on the left side, we have mass. Mass is just the measurable amount of stuff inside an object. Imagine a lab balance comparing a super light feather to a dense heavy metal sphere. That fundamental difference in the sheer amount of material is its mass. Then, on the right side, we have the requirement that it occupies space, which we call volume. This is just the three-dimensional space that the material takes up. Think of water filling up a container or invisible air inflating a balloon. And you know, this brilliantly illustrates a very common misconception. We usually use scales to weigh things, right? But we really have to clarify the difference between mass and weight. Here's the deal. The crucial point is that mass, the actual amount of matter, is completely constant anywhere in the universe. Your mass is exactly the same here on Earth as it would be on Mars. Weight, however, is a measure of how much gravitational force is pulling on that object. Because gravity changes depending on where you are in the universe, your weight changes. But your mass never does. Okay, Section 3, three common states of matter. Let's see how matter physically shows up in our daily lives. Here on Earth, it primarily exists in three classic states. First is a solid, like ice or rock. It holds a definite shape and volume because its particles are packed super closely together, basically just vibrating right in place. Next up is a liquid, like water or milk. It has a definite volume, but no fixed shape. It just easily conforms to its container because its particles can move and flow past one another. And finally, we have a gas, like oxygen or water vapor. A gas has neither a fixed shape nor a fixed volume. Its particles are just zooming around freely and rapidly in all directions, expanding to fill whatever space they're given. Now, the really cool point here is that matter can completely transition between these distinct states, depending entirely on temperature and pressure. Notice how shifting across these curves, through melting, evaporating, or sublimating, completely transforms the macroscopic physical properties of the substance, even though on a chemical level, it is the exact same material. Let's dive deeper. Section 4, the microscopic world. It is time to zoom way, way in, far past what the naked eye can see. When we look closely enough, we see that all matter consists of tiny particles. Let's contrast the two main players. In column 1, we have atoms. These are the fundamental base-level units of chemical elements, and they contain protons, neutrons, and electrons. In column 2, we have molecules. Molecules are simply combinations of two or more atoms that are chemically bonded together, like H2O or water. It's these molecules that actually form the bulk matter we interact with daily. Let's look even closer at the atomic structure itself. We have a central, positive nucleus made of protons and neutrons, which is orbited by negative electrons in specific energy shells. But what's truly mind-blowing is the staggering scale of an atom. Its radius is approximately 10 to the power of -10 meters. To put that into perspective for you, if an atom were the size of a massive sports arena, the dense nucleus, which contains almost all of its mass, would merely be the size of a single pea sitting right on the 50-yard line. The rest of it is almost entirely empty space. And we can zoom in even further, down to the quantum level. The protons and neutrons that make up that tiny pea-sized nucleus are themselves composite particles known as baryons. A baryon is made of even smaller elementary particles called quarks, conventionally 3 of them. So right beneath the atom, there is an entire hidden universe of quantum mechanics dictating exactly how the fundamental particles of matter behave and interact. Which brings us to Section 5, Evolution of Atomic Theory. Let's step back and look at how humanity actually mapped out this invisible world. It didn't happen overnight. The idea that matter was built of discrete little blocks actually appeared thousands of years ago. Way back in the 6th century BCE, the Indian philosopher Kanada proposed a particulate theory, followed in the 5th century BCE by the Greek philosophers Leucippus and Democritus, who proposed atomism. But it wasn't until the 19th century that we saw the real scientific development of the periodic table and chemical atoms. And finally, the 20th century brought the discovery of electrons, the nucleus, and ultimately the standard model of particle physics. Our understanding grew from ancient philosophical musings into incredibly complex, mathematically rigorous quantum mechanics. All right, last but not least, Section 6, the substance of the universe. To wrap up this masterclass, we really need to connect these wild quantum theories back to our tangible reality, because matter isn't just some abstract scientific concept reserved for physicists and chemists and labs. It is literally everything. The food we eat is matter. The water we drink is matter. The invisible air we breathe is matter. Our very bodies are composed entirely of matter. The buildings we live in, the vehicles we drive, life-saving medicines, chemicals, every single piece of our daily lives is constructed from these exact same fundamental atomic building blocks. Ultimately, it all boils down to this core thesis right here. Matter is the fundamental substance of the universe. From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, everything around us is built from matter. Understanding matter is the first step toward understanding chemistry, science, and the world itself. It is quite literally the foundation of the physical reality we inhabit. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to carry with you. I challenge you to observe everything you touch today, your coffee cup, your steering wheel, your own hands. Try to picture them not just as solid, static objects, but as a complex, dancing arrangement of atoms and quarks, held together by invisible forces, buzzing with energy. Because grasping that concept, that is the true beginning of chemistry. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep exploring the amazing world around you.